Hello and welcome to Interface, a technology podcast with me, Matt Murray, and my friend and yours, James Farley. James, how's it going?
Hello, Matt. I'm pretty good.
You all right? You're all good. Awesome. Firstly, a bit of an apology. We didn't record a couple of weeks ago. I was away and then extremely busy. And then we've had to do some other stuff, but we're here now. We're recording again. We're going to try and get us back to bi-weekly. We're going to do everything in our power. Right, James?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Cool. So we've got a few things to talk about tonight. It's mostly Apple flavoured. I will say that firsthand. But of course, we're going to start with a little bit of follow-up. Now, obviously, we talked about Vive a few weeks ago, James.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about? I mean, obviously, I was quite passionate about Vive, about my experience. There's been VR news has been happening a lot since. Obviously, that both the headsets are out now. Have you been more tempted to look into VR or get anything yourself?
I think the enthusiasm that you had definitely did sort of rub off a bit, because I am much more interested in it now than I was. I mean, how are you feeling about it now? I mean, are you still like buzzing from that?
I mean, I'm obviously not as high as I was because I had that experience, and I obviously still remember how good it was. But obviously, as the weeks have gone on, I'm less excited just because I haven't got access to it, and I haven't got a PC, and I'm not going to be buying a PC anytime soon. I mean, I'm looking forward to PSVR still, like really looking forward to that, and I've obviously pre-ordered that. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, if I had it, I'd be much more psyched and much more interested in it and excited. As it is, I'm just waiting to have one myself at home really, and I can't buy a gaming PC. I'm certainly not going to have that anytime soon. So it's PSVR really for me. And also, I haven't got any friends nearby who've got an Oculus or Vive either, so that's another thing.
Yeah, you see, the problem I've got is that if I really want to get into it, my only hope really is that if Microsoft announce something at E3, because there's no way I'm going to get any new gaming hardware this year. That's just not going to happen. So it's only if they announce something, because, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think is more likely? Microsoft unveiling a VR headset or you just buying a PS4 for PSVR?
Microsoft unveiling a headset.
How close are you to buying a PS4?
Very far away. It's not going to happen because I've got no money at the moment. And I'll explain why in a moment why I've got no money.
Okay. So I'm still extremely excited about VR, and I really want to try the consumer Rift, because that's something I haven't tried. But for now, I'm just gonna have to park that, unfortunately. So, but you obviously just mentioned a second ago the fact you got no money. I know one thing you bought recently, and that's an Apple TV.
I did, yeah. I bought the 4th generation Apple TV. Yeah. But also, I've got a bit of a confession, and I actually went a bit mad, and I actually own two.
What, you bought two of them?
No. Okay, let me explain what happened here. So I bought the 4th generation one, and then I figured it'd be really good to own one of these on the other TV. To have the AirPlay and all that kind of thing. I thought that'd be great. But the thing is, I couldn't stretch to another 4th generation one, so I picked up a second-hand 3rd generation one instead. So now I've kind of got two.
Wow. How much did you get the second-hand 3rd gen for?
That was £45, which is I don't think it was too bad. That was from CEX. Computer exchange.
Right.
I thought it wasn't too bad.
You used to have Apple TV ages ago, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I had the 2nd generation one, and no, only the 2nd generation one. But I had I had about 2 different versions of it. Which was quite good. But I sold it because I thought I don't really need this because I've got an Xbox and that can do a lot of this stuff. But the whole time that I sold it, I really missed AirPlay. That was the thing that I always really missed, and that's one of the things that's been really good so far about having this back again. Actually, is the AirPlay has made it worth it again, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first Apple TV, and I bought the 4th gen on launch just because it's something new and shiny. And yeah, having AirPlay is absolutely fantastic. It's really useful. I mean, I don't. What are you mostly using it for?
Mostly for video. I mostly use it for video because there's video I download or whatever, it's handy to be able to just stream it across. But also for my wife, for Chen, it's really useful because she uses a lot of Chinese apps, which then they're also video streaming apps, which obviously don't have apps on the App Store or anything like that. But then now she can stream them to TV really easily, which was impossible using anything else. You have to do it this way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm mostly using it for YouTube. There's loads of vloggers and YouTubers I watch basically daily, and it's just nice to go on the couch. And if I'm watching on my phone, I'll just put it over to the TV, and it's super useful. It's super quick. That's such a great thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that I kind of wish is that I wish that Apple would update the third generation to work properly with our iCloud Photos, because it still uses PhotoStream, which is a bit rubbish.
I mean, so did the latest fourth gen until like a couple of OS upgrades ago.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
on launch, it just had a PhotoStream, and when I got it, I thought, I didn't even know PhotoStream was still a thing. Because I just assumed that had gone with Apple Photos and whatnot. But so it's only two OS upgrades ago that they actually implemented full sort of photos in the cloud and whatnot. Yeah.
See, that's been really good because, I mean, as an aside, I've just spent like 2 weeks uploading all my photos to iCloud. And you've done that as well, yeah, at some point.
I did that when Photos first launched. It took me about 10 days to upload everything.
It's not a particularly fun experience, but it is cool to have them like whatever device I'm using on now. It's
great,
kind of nice, to have like. I mean, I looked at it. I've got it's like 30,000 pictures, that kind of thing. It's it's kind of crazy. But I've gone to like the 200 gig tier now for iCloud because you have to, because the 50. I was on 50 before, but it was nowhere near enough. But it reminded me.
Is that the one that's £2.49 or so a month?
Yes.
I think that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah. And it's the thing though. What you said a while ago, where you said about how you wish that you could share this with your wife, because
why can't we got family sharing, but why it's so frustrating you can't share data. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's really annoying, because I mean you could share things if you like how you can share like an iCloud folder or whatever. You could probably do that, but it's still very sort of clumsy and messy. But it'd be good if you could just share some of that space, or have like a family pack or something like that, because it would be like crisps, it'd be good, to do something like that.
Crisps, yeah. I mean, I'm basically just going to have to upgrade Jules to the 50 gig one.
Yeah.
It's really annoying because I bought her the 5C like a year or so ago because she had Android devices before that, and it was horrific. But now she's like constantly getting messages about her being running out of space because it's only an 8 gig phone.
Yeah, I had to do the same for Chen. Like she's on 50 gig as well, because it's just there's not enough space if you don't do that.
Yeah, but her actual phone's running out of a thing because it's only 8 gig. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I mean, I'd love to get a 5 SE, but goodness. Okay, so you've had Apple TV. How long have you had the latest one for then?
It's probably now about a week and a half or so, I think.
Okay. I mean, what's the thing you love about it the most? What are you liking or disliking? What do you think about the remote?
Well, okay, the good stuff first is I really like the remote, and Siri works really well as well, and it does feel like nice to hold. It feels good, especially compared with the third gen and second gen one, which this third and second gen one was just basically like a slab of metal, sort of thing, and it's didn't feel so comfortable. This one feels much nicer.
I think it looks gorgeous. And I know this conversation has been done to death, everyone, by the way. I know everyone did it months ago, but we're doing it now. So, I'm sorry. But, it looks gorgeous, the remote. But, I mean, it's just so thin. I'm constantly losing it down the side of my couch.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
If it's on on the arm of the couch and you knock it, you pick it up, suddenly you've skipped a movie, or you fast forward in House of Cards. That's a nightmare. The buttons, it's not obvious enough, in the dark, which ones you're pressing. Also, I'm not sure if it's my daughter who's been squeezing it to hell, but I feel like the menu, sorry, not the menu button, the button has got a picture of a TV, which makes absolutely no sense, but that button doesn't seem to be working very well.
Okay, yeah.
The menu, the button, the remote is such a joke. Like, why hasn't it got a home button to make it much more iOS and friendly?
It has. Well, the TV button's like a home button.
But then you've got a button called menu. It's just
that's logical, because you got the TV button, which takes you right back to the start, and then the menu one is basically a back button.
It shouldn't be a TV. It's just they should have modelled it. I'm sure I've seen mock-ups. They should have modelled it so it had a home button at the bottom, so everyone knows what that does. It's just it just doesn't feel natural to use to double tap the TV button to get the multitasking. Anyway, I mean it looks gorgeous, but and it does work surprisingly well for games. So I'm sure we'll come on to that in a bit. But yeah, design wise, it feels like a bit of a mess.
I don't know. I quite like it. It's although I do admit it is very easy to lose. I mean, when I got it, because the other one I used to lose for the second and third generation as well, because it's also similarly very tiny, and it's always like, where's the remote? Where's the remote? As soon as I bought this, I downloaded like the remote app on like everything I've got, because it's like you know it's going to go missing at some point.
Yeah, I use the remote app more than the real app, actually, in all honesty.
And it's useful having it on your watch as well, actually, and it connects very quickly. Like I found.
Oh really? I haven't done that. So what can you do when you watch that I'm not doing clearly?
Well, it's the same. It's like you can open the watch app and then you can control the TV. It has the same buttons and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, but if I did that, Jill would be like, Matt, we started to film 2 hours ago. Can you stop trying to, fast forward or play or whatever? I mean, the app would take 15 minutes plus to open. It was pointless.
Really? It's nice. It's pretty fast. It's
I haven't tried it. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing based on all my other app experiences.
No, it's compared with most apps on Apple Watch. It's not. It's quite fast. And,
it's quite decent, is it?
Because I've just loaded up mine now, and it comes up. It's got like 2 Apple TVs and then the MacBook Pro library as well. Like you can control all of that from there. It's okay. It kind of works. Yeah, so anyway, I kind of like that. But then the other thing I do like is the OS, which is really snappy, which is coming from the Xbox One is really nice. It's
compared to consoles, this thing is lightning fast. Yeah, and it's brilliant.
It's also especially if you go back to using any set-top box, like my family have one of those, the BT Vision box.
Yeah. And
it's like, oh, this is horrendous. It's like, whose idea was this? It's really, really terrible. But
we've got FreeSat, which is like the HD freeview thing. Because I do want to pay £110 a month for Sky anymore, so we'll quit that. And Jill keeps using iPlay on that, and I'm like, Jill, literally press 2 buttons and you're in iPlay on Apple TV. It's so quick, but she hates it basically. She's not a fan. But the speed of this thing compared to the consoles is what means that now I use this for all my streaming, whereas I've used Xbox, Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. I've used that's always been my streaming box. I've always used the apps on that, and I obviously still have to for Amazon Video, but now basically for any Netflix and any of the other streaming apps, I use it, apart from Amazon, of course. I use Apple TV because it's just so quick. And I love the whole. I love the scrubbing through like credits on TV shows and stuff. It's so quick. It's so good because you can see the preview where you're scrubbing to. It's so fast, and it's the best streaming box for that. For me, for that reason.
Yeah, I totally agree, because this is the reason that it's one of the reasons I got it, because to be honest, Chen really hated the Xbox One. Like, she hated using it for things. And we did have it, we were using it for everything. Like, we had the digital TV, adapter, and, the whole thing. But she hated it because she used to say it doesn't work. Things, it keeps, things keep going wrong and this kind of thing. And she just really wasn't happy. So when I said I was going to get this, I was surprised she wasn't angry at all about the idea of buying it. She was like, yeah, that's fine. she was quite happy to, buy another one, which is good.
I bet.
But with the streaming apps that are available on this though, I don't feel the need now that I even have to have a cable hooked up, because I use the there's that TV app for watching TV.
Yeah.
And it has all the Freeview channels and stuff like that. That's kind of
TV player.
Nice.
It's quite good actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one that you asked me to download to test before you picked this up. You picked up the Apple TV 4. Yeah, it works okay. It's surprisingly good.
In general, the picture quality is really good. It's it's when you run up things like iPlayer and stuff like that on Now TV, it's just as good, if not maybe better, than on Xbox One. HD, it's very nice.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, it feels nice because it feels like this is like a machine that you could use for all your media. But then that also brings me to the bad stuff, which is about this, which is, Apple said that the future of TV was apps. This was their big thing, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
But it seems that a lot of TV content providers disagree, because the Apple TV is missing quite a few useful streaming apps that don't exist. We already mentioned, Amazon Video. There's,
I was so hoping that they would have had that sorted by now, because I really love Amazon Video. All the things I watched on it have been brilliant. Mr. Robot is utterly fantastic. For me, Mr. Robot is the best show I've seen since Breaking Bad. I think it's fantastic. Man in a High Castle is brilliant. transparent's fantastic. Like everything I've seen on Amazon has been great, and it's just annoying I have to go to the Xbox to watch that as opposed to just flicking on the app on Apple TV. I know I can AirPlay it, but it's not quite the same.
Well, that's the thing, because that's what I was going to say. I mean, you've got like Amazon Video, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5. None of those have actually got like dedicated apps for it. And you can AirPlay those, but it's really not the same, and it is like a bit cumbersome to use. Like the Channel 5 app in particular is really flaky, and just, I mean, it's flaky on the device, or like on an iPhone, but if you try and AirPlay it, it really doesn't like it. It gets, it's really not so good. So this is a problem because they need more of those apps, I think, because if you look at like Xbox One, I presume PS4 is the same. They've got all of those apps. Like you can use all of those, but I don't know why they still haven't appeared on here, because I'm sure it can't have sold that badly. So what's the?
No, I actually thought it sold pretty well. I mean, it's such a strange thing. I mean, clearly Apple aren't getting. I mean, I'm not. I mean, they're not going to force developers, but they're also clearly not saying, "Hey, everyone, develop for Apple TV," because I don't know why there wouldn't be an ITV app or a Channel 5 app or something. I mean, clearly, people like ITV and Channel 5 just don't see a need to develop an app for Apple TV, and their customers clearly aren't asking for it enough. Because if they were, then maybe there'd be a change. But yeah, the whole app situation on Apple TV is very strange. It feels like they've said, okay, apps on Apple TV, and there's some games and stuff at launch, and then people thought, okay, I don't need to bother with Apple TV anymore. I've either updated my app or I haven't bothered, and I'm not missing out on anything by not having an Apple TV app, and it just feels a bit dead again.
And that's the problem, because games are the other thing with this, because, I mean, I talked about Beat Sports on the Computer Game Show, our other podcast before, and what games that look really nice, but they are still really thin on the ground at the moment. There's really like not that many available. Most of them look like pretty old, as in they look like they've been around for quite a long time, and there doesn't seem to be a lot going on at the moment. Yeah,
I haven't said that. After I was watching Netflix the other night, I had a brief scan of the App Store, and yes, I'm seeing a lot of the same apps I saw on day one, but I did see a couple of new games which look really nice. But I don't think I said this on a podcast ages ago, but I've certainly said it sort of privately to you and other people, but I really had really high hopes before Apple TV came out. I hoped for someone to come along and say, okay, we're gonna own the apps on this. We're basically going to create like a Halo for Apple TV. We're going to create a Mario 64, something that takes advantage of the machine's controller, or the power. It's quite a powerful little machine. It's quite cheap, and basically there's a lot of things in motion that if all brought together and someone created an app for it that worked, I think it could do really well. But no developer yet that I've seen has really taken it and created a really unique and incredible experience for this platform alone. And we're still waiting for a big game to come along and really do something on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think part of the problem with that is the control issue, because of the fact that all games have to use the remote, and that does kind of limit things, quite a lot, I think, as far as games go. I mean, Beat Sports is nice, but it's really basic. And, I mean, it's more basic than, like, Wii Sports or whatever. It's, and, I mean, the other thing that I've been a bit disappointed with, which is ridiculous, considering considering expense with things, for some reason, I don't feel like I want to take a risk on any of these games these days. And the ones that are there are pretty expensive, like by iOS standards. They're like, you're looking at like £3-5 or whatever. And I think because of the way that, in-app purchases have kind of destroyed iOS gaming, like for me anyway, I don't feel like I want to take risks with this stuff.
Yeah, also the fact that, I don't mind buying an iPhone game that's slightly more expensive because I could play it, I could be on my phone bored and I'll try it again, or could play it on the iPad or whatever. But if I buy an Apple TV app, then it's not like I can just have a quick go on my phone when I'm waiting for something, It's basically Apple TV or nothing. So I'm much less, much less desire for me to actually spend £8 on an app that I'd only be on TV if I play it at all,
Yeah, I mean, I just think, the support is clearly not really there. I mean, you can see that from, like Disney, Disney Infinity is kind of being shut down on it. Like they're not adding stuff. And then the thing is, though, you can kind of understand that because it was ridiculous, the price for it. It's it's like if you want to buy it, it's like nearly £100 like on there. It's
Crazy.
because it comes with like a controller as well.
Yeah, well, you could also buy Guitar Hero, couldn't you? I think that was 80 quid or maybe more.
So that's kind of insane because you can buy exactly the same thing for significantly cheaper on consoles. You know,
Yeah, because all the console versions have been reduced, whereas Apple TV is still the same.
Yeah, it's kind of
bonkers.
strange. But I mean, overall, you see, what's really annoying is this thing could be perfect. It just needs more apps, and hopefully we can see that. I mean, Siri search is brilliant, but also that needs work. But it's still, to be honest, I still find like the voice recognition on it is considerably better than Connect on Xbox.
In what way do you think it needs work?
It needs work to be able to actually do like more with it. Because at the moment, I don't feel like I can really do a lot with it. Like you can't like do like long strings of what you want to do. You know, like open, like for example, I can't press it and say open Now TV and then play this. It doesn't do that.
No.
And it needs to be able to do stuff like that. Because, I mean, Connect does stuff like that, but often you have to repeat it about 5 times, and which is kind of annoying.
Also, obviously, so one of the big things they announced when they first revealed this is that you could, hold down the two button and say play Frozen or whatever, and it would open up a page and say Frozen is available on these, these services. Obviously right now it's on Netflix and iTunes, I guess, but they haven't added anyone else, have they? It'd be great if they were to add Now TV. To say search Game of Thrones and it will show Now TV, it will show iTunes, it will show Netflix if it's on now. I'm not sure. I don't think it's actually.
And that's the problem because it doesn't do that. I mean, we're going to talk about the Apple earnings maybe in a bit, but I did want to talk about that. Like that thing with Tim Cook saying about the first subscription service, of being like Apple Music. How it's been like a success.
Yeah.
But then saying that this is the first one, so that kind of means is there going to be more?
Regardless of whether he said it, there absolutely will be. The fact he has said it is a guarantee. I mean, it's just a case of when.
I mean, if this is going to be a TV and movie like service, that would be a really good idea because the iTunes
can't see it happening soon though.
Well, I don't know because the iTunes store has got a lot of content, like as in like they've got everything, like pretty much. If I could get access to that for like a monthly subscription, I'd be really interested in that because I mean they've really got everything, compared with most other services.
Yeah, I can't see that ever happening. Only because there's too much. The content providers clearly aren't playing ball, and that's why Apple TV was rumored to be launching with such a service, and that never happened. And we're still waiting for that, and who knows when that might happen. But if there is a subscription service for TV and film, I think it only be like a very small. Well, it won't be everything on iTunes. It'll be a subsection of what they offer. But, it's gonna happen. I believe they will do it. They will get the deals necessary to get a TV or a Apple Video service, whatever it be called, on there. But and it'll be great. I mean, I'm certainly be interested in that. I'm certainly a lot more interested in Apple Music, which I've tried and I'm not a fan of. I'm much more. I'm sticking with Spotify basically. It's a much better service for me, but. I'll be definitely interested were they to do that, and that'll be really compelling, and I think that could drive sales in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really interested in the music service, but a TV and film one I would definitely be interested in. But again, depending on price and all that kind of thing. But overall though, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm interested to see what's gonna come next because the next revision they're gonna have to. Well, okay, they won't because they're Apple, but it'd be nice if they packed in a controller or something like that as well, to kickstart that a bit. But the trouble is,
they definitely won't. But it's a shame.
Yeah, because the thing is Apple just don't seem to care about games. Is the problem? It always feels, like I said before, it always feels like the success they've had on iOS with games is by accident, not really by them really like pushing it, if you see what I mean.
It does feel that way sometimes, yeah. It's a shame because I bought a pad for it day one. I bought the Steel Series Nimbus, and it's a quality pad. It feels great, and the games I've played, on it, like it does not commute, and that snowboarding one, which I can't, Alto's Adventure and Sonic 1, they all feel great with a pad. And I think, hey, if they launch with like an Apple designed, gamepad, controller, joypad, whatever you want to call it, it'll be brilliant. But I just, like you said, there's no chance of Apple doing that just because I don't think they care enough, which is a shame because I think it could have changed. It could have changed so much, and it could have been such a bigger product if they had said, here's basically like how much is it? 100 quid, £110?
It's 132
gig.
No, it's 130 for the 32.
But still, 130 quid for like, you know, a essentially it could be a mini games console. It comes with a pad. You can download all your iOS games, all the, you know, stuff that people have been playing for years and whatnot. It could be such a compelling product, but that never happened. And then, as it is, it's sort of, it just feels a bit dead. I mean, obviously WWDC is happening in June. It'd be really interesting to see what they announce, what they say, what their new initiatives are. Every year at WWDC, they always mention, you know, Metal, which is, you know, their sort of game engine, or, you know, so it's a sort of game making sort of capabilities within iOS. You know, there's loads of things they always do for that, but will they actually focus on Apple TV? Will they get people on stage playing an Apple TV game? You know,
you'd hope
I
so,
hope so.
but probably not.
I can't see it happening. No,
Yeah.
That's sad.
But yeah, so I mean, okay, so we had that, but then also Apple had their earnings this week.
We did, yeah. I mean, they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reports on TV have been the usual: the sky's falling, Apple is doomed. You know, this kind of thing. It's all over. You know, it's
Apple is dead. I mean, they did make 10.5 billion in profit, but you know, and that's just for the quarter. But Apple is definitely dead.
Yeah, they're definitely finished, and yeah, it's no good. Yeah, no one's buying iPhones anymore. You know, it's they've lost their shine, etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So on the whole, it was good. Apart from obviously. And sorry, when I say good, I mean it's still incredibly impressive compared to other companies. But obviously, everyone's focusing on the year-over-year revenue change, which is down. I mean, yeah, it's fascinating to see those charts, and we're looking at a lot of these charts on sixcolors.com. There's a great post by Jason Snell, so there'll be a link in the show notes to go on there. Otherwise, you can just go to Six Colors and find the post. But yeah, it's incredible seeing these charts of revenue where they've always been going up and up and up, and then, you know, and then suddenly there's a massive down one. It's crazy.
I mean, one of the things they talked about with this, you know, about being one of the possible causes is like the downturn in China, like the fact that they haven't sold as much there. But you see, this is quite interesting. Like for me, this is interesting because my work, my career, this kind of thing is based on China. I don't know if you think what's going on there, and it's quite interesting because it's people. It seems that people have been surprised by this, which is the thing that I find strange. Because, I mean, do you know? I mean, in China recently, they've got an anti-corruption crackdown going on at the moment, which has been going on for several years, and this means that rich people are far less keen about showing off their wealth, which means that there's less iPhones being bought for mistresses and wives. Like that's not happening so much. But also, I mean, the economy in general is like massively down, like much more than the official figures suggest that it is. So there's a lot less money sort of flying around. It was kind of obvious this was going to happen, but for some reason, most Western companies, as I said, didn't see it coming, which is kind of strange.
But I mean, but there's nothing Apple could have done about that, is there? I mean,
not really. But they could have. I mean, they've been like aggressively expanding in China, like opening more stores. This kind of thing. I mean, the SE, I think was. I see the SE is strange because if I can't see as a phone, if they were trying to appeal, to Chinese audience or to like developing country like audience for like the lower price and everything, then this is not a phone that I think would be popular in China because people love massive phones there. Yeah, they love massive gold phones, and
great choice.
Yeah, but the iPhone SE is not that, and I just can't. I didn't think it was going to be that popular, and it doesn't seem to have been.
Another reason why numbers are down. It's less about numbers are down mostly because numbers are so bloody high beforehand.
Yeah.
And a big reason for that last time is because they expanded into China. So it's twofold. It looks bad because it's so good last time, and now it looks bad because the market's having a downturn. So it's sort of a double hit almost in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, also, I really think that. This is a case. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about this, but the idea that like smartphones have kind of peaked like overall now, as in most people have them. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's not just the case that most people have them. It's also the case of there's a far less compelling reason to upgrade now. Like to go.
Yeah.
Like if you remember, like going from like 3G or 3GS to iPhone 4. There really was a good reason to do that because it was
every year there was a really exciting sort of new development. Like, I mean, cut and paste. I mean, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did that. But it was genuinely exciting. I mean, obviously, I still get incredibly excited about every Apple keynote. Of course, because I'm a massive nerd. But it's not like it was, mostly because of the leaks. But also, I'm like, well, at this point, what are they gonna do? Better camera. The cameras are amazing. The phones feel great. The OS is snappy. I mean, for me, the next big thing is going to be a much better, much improved battery, and I think there will be a bit of an uptick again. I think there'll be a bit of an uptick when Apple suddenly announce, oh, we can do like a 2 or 3 day battery, and I think that's going to be the next big game changer. But right now, I think you're right. I mean, the phones are so well built that you'd probably not have to upgrade every year because last year's camera is still amazing.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because I mean, I've just got a 6 Plus, but I don't feel bothered at all about upgrading at the moment. Like, I just feel this is a really nice phone. I mean, it just feels like smartphones are sort of steadily approaching where iPads already are. This idea of they'll get upgraded, but it's going to be much less frequently because there's not the need. Because they're not. The gap is not so big as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, there is only a certain amount of people who do upgrade their phones every year. I mean, I'm definitely one of those people. I keep my phone in good nick, and then I sell it, and then that pays for the next one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's. I mean, the next few years are going to be so interesting because this is like the first time in 11 years where Apple's revenue hasn't been growing. So it's going to be really fascinating what happens next. And but the one point I wanted to bring up was, obviously, the big rumour is that the next phone will have a headphone port. There's been a lot of furore already online about whether that is the case, whether iPhone 7 will or won't, and if it doesn't, what does that mean for consumers? Obviously, there's been like petitions already about, I'm not going to buy the iPhone, or you shouldn't buy the iPhone if there's no headphone port. Do you think these changing revenue sort of stream, the changing forms in revenue, do you think that's going to change anything about the fact that they could still potentially release this potentially controversial product with no headphone port, or will they just play it safe and just keep the headphone port for a couple more years, because then we're much less likely to kick up a fuss and sort of piss people off? Do you think that's likely to change them at all?
I don't think they'll care, to be honest. I think they'll just go ahead with whatever they're doing at the moment.
I do think you're probably right, but I just thought it was interesting that maybe they might potentially think, okay, we need to steady the ship a bit. Not that the ship has been anything but steady. It's still an amazing ship. But you know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean, the no headphone port thing, it's going to happen. I mean, there's already a bunch of phones out. Like, there's a bunch of like Chinese manufacturers that are producing them without headphone sockets now. Like, it's going to happen, I think. People are going to be angry.
There's also a report from Intel. I think Intel said this week that they see USB-C as being the next headphone port, and so if even Intel are saying it's going to happen in every phone, it's not just going to be an Apple thing. Apple might just be there ahead of the curve, but I can't wait for that. I mean, I my headphones are my life basically. I have them on me in my pocket every single day, no matter where I am. There will be a set of headphones in my pocket. So on the face of it, this should piss me off, but I don't. I rarely charge and listen to the phone at the same time, just because the 6 Plus battery life is so good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing when that happens, and it will happen this September when they announce iPhone 7 with no headphone port. It's going to be incredible to see the reaction.
See, that wouldn't bother me so much. Like, but see, the thing is, I'm the same. I mean, I've got about 4 or 5 pairs of headphones strategically placed around the house. Yeah, because you're always like, wherever you are, you want some headphones at some point. I mean, I'm personally hoping that we're going to see some like wireless headphones. That's what I really want, because I want wireless headphones that will connect to my watch, and I want my watch to be able to play podcasts to me. That's what I want to be able to do. It's not going to happen yet, but that's my dream for being able to do that. Yeah, we'll see.
I guess this goes quite nicely into the rumours we've also heard this week about obviously Apple Watch 2 rumoured to include cellular connectivity, so it's going to have its own. I mean, I guess it won't have a SIM card. Well, I could have a SIM card. I guess it will do. Yeah, I guess it'll have the same sort of mini SIM card that the new iPads have, the sort of built-in one.
I'm just wondering how that would work. Like, what would be... I mean, I can understand the benefit, obviously, but, yeah. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I mean, it makes sense. Like, it absolutely makes sense. I don't know how... What would I get a contract for my I mean, would I get a second contract for my watch?
Exactly, that's the
I
problem.
mean,
right?
the idea of the next Apple Watch 2, being much less dependent on the phone makes absolute sense. Now, I think that's what's needed. I think that might be holding a lot of people back buying one. The fact you need an iPhone, the fact you need your phone with you at all times for it to work. I mean, also, there are, of course, and I'm not listing, but there are features you can do without the phone. But by and large, you need the phone with you.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it makes sense. I mean, the big thing for me is having GPS would be great because then I can go for runs and it can track my run on Strava, which is what is the app I use, and it can do it without having the phone on me. So the GPS for me is a big one, but having cellular connectivity is interesting. I mean, I think it's needed, but I don't know what they're going to do with it.
See, cellular would be okay, but the thing, I mean, I wish it would play nicer with Wi-Fi as well, because it's a bit kind of hit and miss with that. Do you find that?
What? So are you saying the fact that if are you asking about the feature whereby it remembers previous Wi-Fi networks and can connect if your phone isn't available?
Yeah, but I'd like it to default connect to Wi-Fi. I'd prefer it to do that because it feels more reliable that way. Do you see what I mean?
Well, yeah. You mean the watch could default into Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Oh yeah. You mean for Apple Watch 2, if it has cellular, you would want it to default to Wi-Fi?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like it to be able to use.
Sense.
I'd like Wi-Fi to be sort of implemented better on the watch, and so so that I can use apps much more reliably without my phone, like actually being there, because that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Apple Watch 2 is gonna be so fascinating to what I do with that. Just because the first one, I mean, I do love mine, but also, my God, they need to start again. They need to start everything. They need to rip the whole thing down and start again.
I don't know about that.
Design-wise, it looks great. I think everything needs to be fixed. Everything is a joke.
What, really? I wouldn't go that far.
I just, I mean, I do love wearing it, and I like notifications, but that's basic as hell, isn't it? Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think everything needs to be looked at. The UI, the speed, obviously the features. Having cellular data, having GPS. Obviously, these are all essentials. I don't mind how thick it is, but a thinner one would be nice. Yeah, I just think they need to go back to the drawing board, big style.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And for that, I can't wait to see what I do.
Well, I mean, maybe we can talk about that in another episode. Because
definitely,
I think there's a lot that could be done with Apple Watch. We can get some ideas.
Yeah. Do we want to talk briefly about Nokia buying Withings?
I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
So I mean, I guess for those of you out there who don't know, Withings, they made like a smartwatch. They're sort of more fashion smartwatches. They look like a regular sort of mechanical watch, but they do have sort of smart technology within them, and I believe also fitness and whatnot. I mean, it's just interesting that Nokia has done this. I mean, obviously Nokia, if everyone felt like they were dead after the Microsoft acquisition, and then they sort of killed them and got rid of Elof and whatnot. I mean, are we going to see a Nokia smartwatch? I mean, it's.
Well, I was wondering whether it's either that or maybe this is going to be something they're hoping that they're going to integrate into their whatever they're going to, because they are working on phones, aren't they? Like they're working on Android phone. Like whether this is going to be something to differentiate themselves, from everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, they only bought Withings for I think $191 million in cash. So it's not a huge acquisition, but it's a really interesting one. I'm very much interested to see what they do next with it. Yeah,
maybe we'll see a watch or something, because there's certainly room in the market for it.
Yeah, I'm still a bit gutted that they went Windows Phone Nokia, just because I don't know what the name of that Android device they did. I think it's like the X1 or something maybe, but it's one that they it was basically like leaks and it looked absolutely gorgeous. It was like the really fantastic Nokia hardware with Android sort of OS, but then that never got released, and then another one did get released, but didn't look quite as good as the original leak. But yeah, it's such a shame they went Windows only.
I know. I mean, if they'd have chosen Android, things could have been quite different. We wouldn't have had Samsung with the water drop sound and all that kind of thing being very popular.
Yeah.
No TouchWiz,
Well, yeah, but the ladies love TouchWiz, as we all know.
That's true. Yeah.
So, that seems about it for this episode of Interface. Thank you everyone else for watching. This podcast is available on iTunes. Please search for Interface and subscribe. Make sure you find the right interface, the one with the white dots in the logo. Don't find any other podcast called Interface. That would be a disaster. We are on Twitter at InterfacePod. We're on Facebook.com/InterfacePod, and we're on YouTube. And new episodes go up after they're up on iTunes. I was going to say every week, but it's every fortnight or worse, depending on how busy we are. But yeah, new episodes on YouTube. Full show notes, including links to the things we talked about today, are on our website, which is interfacepodcast.squarespace.com. And that's it for us. So thanks a lot, James.
Thank you, Matt.
Anytime, and we will see everyone else on the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.